Hi, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show with my co-host Yolanda M. Smith, the Banthropist. We never know who's going to walk through that door. Never know. But I'm excited today to have recording sensation. Notice how I said that. Recording sensation artist who's getting ready to perform live once again in Indianapolis, Indiana. My man, Skypp. Skypp, what's up?
What's going on, Dre? Appreciate you having me on the show, man.
No problem. Hey, take me down the journey of Skypp. You know, let the viewers know who you are. You know, because we was rapping before the show, and I mean, you perform with some legends. So as far as I'm concerned, you're a legend as well.
I appreciate that, man. But I mean, first time I picked up a pen, man, I got cut from the basketball team in middle school. Basketball was a dream, you know, but I was just small. I had asthma. And, you know, just health concerns wouldn't allow me to be an athlete, you know, so that's when I picked up a pencil and the paper, man, and just started going. Right. You know, it didn't start off too great. You know, you can't expect it to when you're so new to something. You're not going to be good immediately. But I just kept at it, man. Went through some things that challenged me and made me want to be better, you know, getting teased and bullied for not being a good rapper. You know, back then nobody was a rapper in school. Really? So I was like the only rapper, but I wasn't good. But it just pushed me.
How did you know you wasn't good? Did you let the peers tell you wasn't good, or the bullying stuff justify that? How did you justify that you wasn't good?
Well, back then you couldn't tell me I wasn't decent. But hearing what I wrote back then, now I know I wasn't good. Okay. But that's okay. Okay. I don't think nobody's good on their first day on the job. Right. You know what I mean? So I just kept going, man, and eventually those same people became fans in high school. You know what I mean? And from high school, it just blew up, you know. Like,
what high school did you attend here?
Warren Central High School. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of rappers coming out of Warren and stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah, when I was at Warren, I was on like 4 of us. 4 of us? Out of 4,000 kids, it was like 4 or 5 rappers.
Now, did you know the 4 or 5 rappers? Yeah. Are you guys still collaborating today?
Yeah, one of them was my rap partner. We had a rap group called Wise Click. Me and my guy, Big Woog. And we were 2 of the 4. The other guy was my friend. But once we started building that momentum, he turned into an enemy. You know, he didn't want to be, he didn't like that he was getting outshined because he was known as the best rapper at first. Really? But then I got better and better, and I kind of surpassed him.
Let's go back a minute. Hold that dog.
He didn't take that he didn't take that lightly.
What do you mean enemy? Like
he just turned it into beef. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, like battle rap was a big thing back then, you know. Right. And I just was like, hey, we should do a battle rap after school one day, you know, put it on YouTube, yada yada. And he just took that extremely offensive. He didn't like that. He looked at it as like I asked for him to go to war with me. Right. But I just wanted a friendly rap battle. You know, he was the best, and I just wanted to battle the best. You know.
Did he battle you?
He didn't battle me. He, like I said, he took it the wrong way. He got offended, and you know, we made some disses back and forth. Right. You know, which I don't get down with nowadays. But back then, you know, it was punchline rap. Rap was battle rap.
So why? So yeah, explain to the viewers, because now it's a different ball game when you had that beef with rapping. You say you mature, you don't do that crap no more. Why? Because doing it now doesn't. First of all, it's not making you any money.
Right. It was like a sport back then. Like battle rapping, it was like a sport. You just keep going back and forth until somebody win. But now it's like everybody's sensitive and everybody want to be the tough guy. And you diss somebody, now they want to diss your dead friends and everything, and now it's getting too deep, and now people dying. You know what I mean? Like, it just started getting more and more complex, and yeah, it's not what it used to be. It used to be, like I said, a sport, man. And it was kind of fun to just go back and forth with a person, and y'all could still be friends after.
So what were some of the other challenges that you faced, you know, through your journey? Because I think we had a lot of artists. I don't even want to call you guys rappers, because that was probably back in my day when they was using the word rapper. Right. Now you guys are definitely artists. You've taken a craft and you mastered it. But take me a little bit deeper down the journey of what it's like to go from, because we're going to talk about in a minute the artists that you perform with. But people need to understand this is a struggle journey.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think what people don't realize is how much it costs to be a rapper.
Say that again, because they need to hear that again.
It costs a lot of money to be a rapper. Of course, you see the biggest rappers getting paid, but that's not how it starts. That's not how it is for the first 5 to 10 years. You got to invest.
Like, what do you mean, like invest? What have you invested? Because people
don't know.
Yeah,
you can't rap for free. If you want to make a song, you got to pay. If you want to put it out professionally published and copywritten, you got to pay. If you want a CD cover done, you got to pay. If you want to upload it to distribution, you got to pay. Everything costs.
How much do you think from the time that you got educated? So let's not start with when you first started doing the sport, but when you got educated in the craft, how much money you think you've actually spent so far in your career? Because people don't understand. They say, "Oh, a couple of, $100." It wasn't a couple $100.
Man, I wouldn't even dare keep count. It'd probably stress me out, man. For real, man. Definitely somewhere over 50,000.
Really?
Over,
and that's per year or throughout your career?
Like from 2010 to 2023, I've spent at least $50,000, which comes to like maybe what, 5,000 or something a year.
Yeah, but you got it. You invested in yourself.
It's a lot. Now I've made back maybe about 30-something thousand. So I haven't recouped my investment.
Right.
But that's the risk you take.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's still good to get some money back. You know what I mean? I'm not stressing about it.
So what are some of the other things that you had to go through to go down this path of a great artist?
I think the worst, I ain't gonna say the worst, but the most difficult thing I went through was before I got with my old management company, I was like on top of the city, like on top. Yeah, I was on top. Yeah.
Tell me what it's like on top. Tell the viewers what that means on top.
I mean, for a person like me, it's not that, it don't really mean that much because like that wasn't my goal to be on top of Indianapolis. But you just know you're on top when you're in demand. Everybody wants you to get on the song. Everybody wants you to do a feature. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody want to do a show with you. So, I mean, I just knew I was on top, which drew the attention of Uncle Jams.
Okay.
So then I got with Cat, but then that's when I totally changed my brand of music.
Why is that?
Because that's what he required to be a part of his company.
How did you feel about that?
At first, I was really open to it because I knew I could do it.
Right.
Like making music is never a challenge. Which was never a challenge. So I didn't have a problem not cussing in my music and cleaning it up and making more commercial friendly music. Like I didn't have a problem with that. But the fan base I had built wasn't built on that.
Right.
And they didn't receive it well.
Right.
Now I had my diehard fans who was just like, okay, it ain't like the last music, but I'm gonna still support you. But I had like thousands of people who was just like, nah, can't get with that. And I lost them. So my fan base took a big hit. So now you're
really trying to.
Now don't get me wrong. I made new fans who were fans of commercial and clean music.
Right.
So like I'm getting on my face on the side of Indigo buses, and I'm doing all these big shows at commercial places that only allow clean music. So don't get me wrong. It was some upside to it, but
do you miss the old?
No, I got them back. I got them back now. Yeah. Okay. So since I went back to being independent, I kind of went back to my old style, more mature, of course, but just still free,
What did you learn from that transition period?
I learned business.
Okay.
He taught me, Uncle Jim's taught me the business of the music industry, and I really appreciate him for that. I didn't really leave Cat, it's nothing but all love, but it just worked out that way. It just happened that way, but I didn't ask to leave or anything like that. I just wanted to make some changes.
Okay.
And
sometimes we have to do that. It's nothing personal. It's business.
You got to, man, because you can't do the same thing and expect different results. And that's what I kept telling myself. Like, I feel like I kept repeating the cycle, and I was getting the same result. And I knew to get a different result, I had to change. And I just wanted to go back to what worked for me.
Now we see a lot of the new artists like 50 Cent. He's all over the place. I mean, I like that guy. I like the way he's taken, his artist craft and doing music and
movies,
making companies,
TV shows,
TV shows. Now you mentioned something that was when we first started. You talked about your boys. Did you bring your boys on with you, or have you reached out to them? Are they still following the same success that you are enjoying?
I mean, I ain't have many boys. My guy Big Woog is one of the top artists in the city. That's who I started with. He kept his journey going, but I don't really got many rap friends from my childhood. Majority of my childhood friends was like athletes. You know what I mean? And I got a couple buddies who like. One of them turned into a DJ, based off of the fact that we needed a DJ in our record label. Now he's one of the top DJs. My other buddy, I got a lot of friends, but they're not really in the music industry. You know what I mean?
Really?
So I'm really just out here
That's
trying
probably kind of good because sometimes you want to get away from that.
Yeah, facts. So, I mean, I really handle a lot of stuff myself. Uncle James was a really big help throughout my career, though, and I appreciate him for that. But
what
now,
was one of the good things you learned from Uncle James?
Oh, one. It's hundreds of things I learned from Uncle James. You know what I mean? Like, many, many, many things.
What's the one thing that you use every day?
Not to be so emotional and, you know, not to take everything so personal. There's so many artists in the world, man, and you can't ever feel like you're just the one person that deserves everything and things are owed to you. You know, it's people in other cities better than me, work harder than me, you know. You
don't hear a lot of people saying that either.
Yeah, like just humility, man. Like I may have strengths and I may have upsides over people, but other people got strengths and upsides over me, you know what I mean? So you just got to respect the art, and you got to understand you're not the only one out there. So you got to do whatever it takes to stand out. And that's one thing he taught me. Like, look, if you leave me today, I can go find somebody just as good as you, somebody who worked just as hard as you.
That probably had you probably had to go wild, you know. But
yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, when I was young, I was like, whatever, dude. Because I really work really hard, man. And my fans pump my head up, so I wasn't trying to hear that at that time. Right. But now that I've grown and I see what's really going on and how people are, how they have mastered social media. You know what I mean? Like I just know that people have an upside over me, you know, because I'm not really big on social media. Like, I mean, I have a following, but I'm talking about like mentally, I'm not invested in that. I don't want to be on.
Why is that?
It's just too negative, and I don't want to be on it. You know, I do what I can. I do the minimum, but I know what you can accomplish on there, and I wish that I had the will to like turn into a social media sensation, but I just don't have that desire, man. Like I just know what comes with it, and I don't want to do it that way. Right. I would rather go the record label route. You know what I mean?
So you write your own music, your own beats?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't make my own beats. I got many producers. I've made a few beats, but
is it hard for you to make beats? Is that when you?
Nah, it ain't hard. It just ain't my thing. It ain't something I really enjoy doing. But I mean, every once in a while, I got a few songs where I made the beat.
Like when you come up with a song, you write a song, and what's more important to the artist? Is it the lyrics or is it the beat?
Oh, it just depends on the artist. I'm a lyric guy. Okay. I love for the lyrics to have meaning, but I also love music. You know what I mean? I love the beats. So it just really depends on the topic of the song. Like if it's a hard beat, I don't even make it a lyric heavy song. I let the beat drive the song and I just try to ride the beat. But if I know I want to talk about something like serious and personal, then I try to find a beat that's not trying to outshine me. I let my lyrics stand out.
What do you like to talk about the most in your songs?
Well, my last album was called Sorry for My Trauma, man. I just talked about my upbringing and all the trauma I experienced. And that's what I really care about, is talking about the real stuff, the struggles that I went through and the growth, you know, that I experienced coming from those struggles. That's my type of thing. And they call me a reality rapper. A lot of people in my label is called sophisticated street music, which is basically just saying I'm from the streets, but I'm not settling for that. Right. You know, I want more. And that's who I've always been. That's who people see me as. It's just that.
What's the one struggle that you faced that continuously plagues you? I mean, we have to rise above. We can't get rid of our demons. We can only suppress them or rise above them. Yeah. But we always remember them. So what's that one thing that you look back on and you go, damn?
Yeah, probably my image. Like that's one thing people always say, like you don't have the image of a rapper, and they feel like that has kind of halted my success.
What is the image that they think you should be?
I just feel like when you look at a rapper, you see flamboyant. Okay. And when you look at me, you just see a regular human being. And that's what I always wanted to be. I don't want to be flamboyant. I don't want to be the social media sensation. You know what I mean? I just want to be me and make good music. And that's why I appreciate people like J. Cole, who will walk around in a sweatsuit, and Kendrick, who will walk around with nappy hair and no jewelry. I appreciate that. Right. That's the kind of lane I'm in. You know what I mean? So that they always said that. Like they look at me and they just don't gravitate towards me in an image standpoint. But when I get to talking and they hear my story, that's when I reel them in. But, you know, people love to look at something more than they love to hear something. Right. So
how many albums have you, let me rephrase that because I just got educated. It's not called albums anymore. How many tracks have you laid down or singles throughout your career?
Yeah, man, what? I don't even know. thousands.
Which ones do you like that you look at?
Songs or albums?
Wow, the singles. Which singles have really taken off and you look at?
I'm an albums guy.
Albums.
I don't know who told you albums don't exist.
I'm not gonna mention their name.
Albums exist. I don't know who told you that. Albums exist and they still thriving to this day. I'm an albums guy. I've released singles, but every single is only a piece of an album.
Which album do you like that you look back on? Which is the one that you looked at and said, wow, I didn't think it would have went this way? And which one did you do to go, wow, that really went that way?
I mean, my most recent one, I expected to do well, and it did. Sorry for my trauma. That was my most personal album, and I'm a personal artist. So, of course, that's my favorite album. But the album that did well that I didn't expect to do well was called 10th, and that came out in 2018. And people call that their favorite album by me. And to this day, I can't understand why.
Why do you think, though? Why do you think?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was just the moment in time and just the atmosphere I had built and the hype around my name that just made people gravitate towards that album or something. I don't know. But I still listen to this day, and I'm just like, this album is not better than, it's like probably like my sixth best album.
Really?
So when people say it's their favorite, I don't hear it. But I've always been the kind of artist that made music. Like, my favorite music is not everybody else's music by me. My least favorite music by me is everybody's favorite. Really? You know what I mean? So I've been that kind of artist my whole life. So I just can't read the people. I don't know what it is about.
I know you probably look at that album and go, I can't believe this elevated the way that it did. Yeah,
I feel like it could have been so much better. In the moment when I was making it, it was great to me. But just going back to listen, you know, I just feel like it didn't age well for me personally.
How hard is it to really make it?
It's nearly impossible. Nearly. Like, when you think about how many rappers are in this world and how many rappers are successful, it's probably like a 10,000 to 1 ratio.
What is the reason for their success versus the others that are out there? I'm pretty sure there's others that's invested in themselves, that's grinding. What's the cliche here?
It just varies, man. I think it's just oversaturated. But a lot of people are born into success. A lot of people are born into maybe a dad was an executive and he can put you on, or maybe you was just born in Los Angeles, California, and things are just easier for you because you grew up in a big market. Maybe you got friends who refer you. Yeah, I mean, like, some people already they just got everything in place, and all they got to do is walk straight. But for people like Indianapolis, Indiana, a rapper, it's going to be nearly impossible for a rapper to make it from here. You got to move.
How did you make it?
I don't feel like I made it. I feel like I've done great for myself, but I don't feel like I've made it. I don't think you've made it until you can comfortably live off your music only. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've done great for myself, though, and I feel like I've lived a lot of people's dreams, but I didn't live my dream. So I'm not. I require more, considering that I haven't even recouped my investment yet. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say that I've made it.
But you perform with some. We were sitting here talking earlier. You perform with some remarkable talent. Tell the viewers some of the people that you perform with, and then we're gonna keep talking.
Yeah, I've done shows with DMX, Mystical, Too Short, Yo Gotti, DJ Quick, Flowetry, Babyface, Anthony Hamilton. Man, so many people.
Out of all of those, I like every single one. Love Mystical.
Yeah.
Love DMX. But let's talk about DMX for a minute.
Yeah.
The late DMX. How was that like, and how did that opportunity even come for you to be there with him?
Well, shout out to my guy, Raleigh Carter. He has a company called Creative Carter. And what he does is he just throws concerts. That's what he does. And you know, we built such a rapport, and he was such a fan of my music that it would just be certain concerts he wanted me to open for the artists. Like, that's just what he did. And he probably called me about 10 times, and you know, each time was a super success, and it was super fun. I did Jada Kiss too. That was my most recent one I did for him, was Jada Kiss. And yeah, man, he just reached out. You know,
when you're with these success, everybody that's in this industry, to me, it's a success because they're investing their time and their knowledge. So I call all you guys a success. But now you up here with DMX.
Yeah, that was
Mystical.
Yeah.
Did they pull you to the side backstage and say, you know, give you any?
Yeah, Mystical stuff? Did. Mystical did. I opened for him in Cincinnati, And he did that, yeah. Because I went on before him, and as soon as I got off, he just stopped me and was like, man, I'll be seeing you around, man. You got some good music. He said, I know I'll be seeing you around in the industry. And then DMX, man, like he was kind of scatterbrained. Like,
what do you mean scatterbrained?
Like he had a lot going on. Like he was just walking up to random people and just praying for them and stuff like that. Like he was like really active. He just wouldn't sit still. So I didn't really have much of a chance to connect with him like I wanted to, because he was a busybody, man. Really? And I mean, some of the artists I didn't get to speak to at all. You know, some people are just not open to that. You know what I mean?
How did that make you feel? Like,
it don't make me feel no kind of way. I came to get a check and perform and get some new fans. I ain't really thinking about what another artist, you know, got going on and if he want to talk to me or not. I'm not thinking about that. I came here to do a job, and I just come to do my job and go home, man. But I appreciate the artists who have actually gone out their way. Like DJ Quick let my mom come backstage, and my mama loves DJ Quick.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, he let her come backstage, and they had a conversation, gave us a drink, you know, stuff like that. It's really appreciated. Anthony Hamilton was really cool. Too Short was cool, you know. So I'm just appreciative for the opportunities, and I just try to do my best to capitalize.
You're getting ready to perform here in
Marion County Fair, yeah.
How can the people come out and support you?
Yeah, you just get a fair ticket, man. I perform June 30th at 7 p.m. Marion County Fair. It's kind of like on the southeast side. All you got to do is get a fair ticket and find the stage.
And then how can the viewers contact you or listen to your music? What platforms are you on?
Yeah, I'm available everywhere. You just search for SKYPP, Skypp, SKYPP. If you Google that, Instagram it, YouTube it, whatever, I'm the only one that's in the music industry called SKYPP, so you'll find me.
Tell me, who were your influencers?
Yeah, Tupac was number one, always.
Why is that?
I just love the passion and the passion that he rapped with, you know, just soul, so much soul and rap. I didn't really hear soulful rap before him, for me, as far as when my mom played around me. She, you know, my stepdad played a lot of mystical. My mom played a lot of Dr. Dre, you know, a lot of West Coast. But those were like energy-driven songs. And then when I finally heard, when she played some Tupac, I'm just like, oh man, this is much different than what
was the one Tupac song that you remember that you still go, wow?
Probably Brenda's Got a Baby.
You know what? We thinking the same thing. That's the first time I heard it. I was like, man, that's deep. How you put that together?
That's hard. Brenda's Got a Baby, Dear Mama, Me Against the World. You know, just those type of songs. I mean, that's what drove me to want to be a rapper. Like, I want to make this kind of music. You know what I mean? And Tupac. And as the years went on, you know, I start listening to like J. Cole and Pimp C. You know, just people who had that soul, man, just that uniqueness about them. They didn't sound like nobody else.
What's the difference in the industry? I talked to a couple of other artists. Is there really a difference with the Miami area with the Rick Ross blowing up, the Atlanta area? Why can't the Midwest shine?
Well, the Midwest is shining. Indianapolis just ain't. Detroit is doing their thing. Memphis is doing their thing. Even Louisville is doing their thing right now. Yeah, they got Jack Harlow, they got ESTG, they got an R&B singer. I can't remember he's big time, but I can't remember who exactly it was. Everybody is doing their thing. Cleveland had a run. St. Louis had a run.
But we got talent here.
Yeah, Chicago had a run. Midwest had runs.
We got runs here.
Yeah, I think the thing we lack is that all those places had a brand of music. Chicago had drill. St. Louis had the Nelly, you know, the country rap type thing. Right. Louisville ain't really got a brand, but I think majority Memphis got a brand of music. I think Indianapolis never had that cohesive sound that was new to the world. We have it, but we don't have it as a collective.
How do we get it there? How do young guys like happen, you and other entertainers put us on the map?
I don't think it's gonna happen, because say you got an artist who makes a unique sound of music.
Right.
If anybody else makes that sound of music, they're gonna call them a copycat.
Really?
Oh, you trying to sound like such and such. Instead of looking at it like this is the sound of Indianapolis, it'll be more so like, oh, he copied his style. That's how Indianapolis is. Nobody really looks at it like, oh, we can build this sound as a whole and make it global. They don't look at it like that. They look at it like that's his sound. If you take it, you swag jacking, and you corny. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but can't young artists like you and the other artists change that narrative?
Probably, yeah. But I mean, it's not easy finding like-minded people in a city with no success. Now, if this was LA and somebody just came up with a new sound today, a sound we've never heard before, I'm sure they have a community that's willing to jump behind that.
Really?
I'm sure they do. But in a place where there has never been hip hop success, never. Everybody's trying to be the first one to make it. Everybody wants to break that, and everybody wants to make history for themselves. I'm guilty of it.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm guilty of it, man. Like, everybody just want to be the person that's like, oh, finally, first time in history, somebody made it. Everybody wants that.
Well, you're almost there.
God willing.
You're almost there.
God willing.
So before we wrap up, leave the viewers with something. No, let me do this before we wrap up. Congratulations, you just got married.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your significant other now. That's a big step for you.
Yeah. We've been together 9 years, man. I proposed in 2020 on Christmas Day. And we bumped heads a lot about marriage. I'm not really big on marriage and weddings and all that stuff because just family history. You know, a lot of my family married and divorced multiple times, like majority of them.
Right.
Only one or two marriages actually lasted. So looking at that from a traditional standpoint, I just felt like it wasn't working for us, and I felt like I didn't want to take that same route. But my fiance was hell bent on what she wanted.
Right.
She told me from day one, I want to get married, and I want to have kids, and I want to live the American dream type, basically. Right. So we bumped heads, but eventually I realized love is about sacrifice. You know what I mean? So I sacrificed my opinions and my, preferences, and I accepted what she wanted because I knew that's what it took for me to keep her in my life. So I just went ahead and did that because I felt like my pride is not bigger than our love.
Man,
you know what I mean?
That's deep.
For sure.
2 parts before we end. Leave the viewers first with a little taste of your new album. Give me a blow real quick.
What you want, like a verse or something?
Yeah, throw something out there for
Let's see. I used to watch my mama drink her anger out, overwhelmed by the struggle, relieving stress. Uncle took our toys and bikes from the house. He drunk himself to death, I hope in peace he rests. Auntie was on the same thing, but she dove deeper. Granny said she getting high, I thought she meant reefer. Man, well, if history repeats, then this drinking I've been doing is way deeper than I think. Something like that. And that song gets real deep. What's
the name of that song?
It's called Liquor and Depression.
Man.
And it's just about the history of alcohol abuse in my family and where it drove me to, and what I learned from it, and just being introspective about it and being transparent with my listeners.
You're deep.
Yeah, it gets deep. This album is the deepest album I've ever made, man. And from top to bottom, it's just about some of the roughest points of my life, And I finally got comfortable enough to talk about it.
Leave the viewers with something so inspirational before we wrap up.
Man, so much I could say.
We got time.
Yeah. I think the number one thing in life, man, is just don't let failure discourage you. I feel like failure is a big part of success. Just because you failed don't mean that you're a failure. That's what people need to realize. People will lose once or twice and just can't take anymore. Feel like it's not meant for them. But you have to lose to win. You have to lose to learn. Like there is no success without failure. And if you understand that and you grasp that, I think you'll go so much further in life, because what it does is it turns you into a fighter. The best fighters got better because they lost and they realized, man, I want to be the best. I don't want to feel that way ever again. So I think number one is you have to get comfortable with losing. Once you're comfortable with losing, you'll be familiar with winning.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton